Bonjour, my name is Jessica. If you haven't seen the first video on my YouTube channel that explains what's happening with this project this year, I suggest to go back and watch that first and then watch this one. But I'm going to jump right in. I'm starting with Kik, and they say that many teens and adults are slowly turning away from social media and looking towards chat as their primary source for communication and information. Where better to turn for fun and safe place to connect? Kik, of course. But is Kik really safe? The state Supreme Court in Wisconsin pulled a judge from the bench recently because he was charged with multiple counts of possession of child pornography. According to his criminal complaint, they received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and that judge had uploaded child pornography through Kik 27 times in October and November. All you gotta do is read the headlines on Google. Kik exploitation, and pages of men and people that have been exploiting children using this app will pop up. Jacksonville man sentenced to more than 8 years in federal prison for disturbing child abuse images using the Kik social media app. In a joint Forbes Point Report investigation, they uncovered evidence of a vast number of child exploitation cases involving the use of Kik. Some of the most appalling material being shared, and young girls and boys are being targeted for grooming. Posing as 14-year-old girls, these investigators discovered just how quickly predators were on the prowl and how third-party apps for sharing profiles appeared to be facilitating access to minors. They found that Kik hasn't even been deleting the profiles of the individuals charged and convicted of child abuse offenses. Though many previous reports have recounted individual exploitation crimes facilitated over Kik, many parents have never even heard of Kik, but their kids probably have. Of its 15 million monthly active users, 57% are in the 13 to 24 age range. It's also believed that $120 million in funding since 2009, and it's now valued at $1 billion. Despite the financial success of the company, Kik's own efforts to curb the problem, the investigation proven worrying many problems still remain. There are some tips that you can use to keep your account protected and safe on Kik, and the biggest one being choosing a username that is really hard to guess, with a combination of letters, numbers, special characters, and do not share your Kik username on other platforms like social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those public social media apps. Then that gives public access to your Kik account, and then that gives strangers and predators the ability to be able to message you. If you haven't registered a Kik account, use a username that is hard to guess. That is the best way that you can protect yourself against somebody that you don't know messaging you. If you have a difficult username, they're likely not going to message you. But if you have one that's out there in public and that is very visible to the public, then you are likely to get exploitive and harassing messages from predators. So, if you are an active user on other sites, do not share your Kik code. That is coming from a mother's standpoint and a survivor standpoint of somebody who is groomed over social media. That is the one thing that you can do to protect yourself and to protect your children on this app, is to make sure that they are not sharing their Kik code publicly, because that gives predators direct access to them and direct access to be able to send them disgusting messages and predatory messages, child pornography messages that have been really widely spread across the country and in Canada. To report any harassing messages or exploitive messages on Kik, you click on the corner of their profile picture in the chat. Click report. It will give you the option to block and delete the conversation, but don't do that. Report it, block them, but choose to keep the conversation. Because if you keep the conversation, then you can forward it to law enforcement. Then you can forward it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who do investigations on these cases and on these people and on these predators. You can go to cybertipline.org, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website, and upload those conversations if you do receive them. As a parent, as a survivor of human trafficking who is groomed via social media, Kik is an app that I do not recommend. I do not recommend your children using this app because there are no safety nets put in place. Kik does not remove profiles of people who have been charged with predatory behavior, and it is just not a safe app as they claim to be. So it is up to your discretion, but I am here telling you from my experience and my knowledge as a survivor of human trafficking, not to use this app. It's not a safe app for children. If you're an adult and you want to chat with other adults, that's completely fine. Still protect yourself. Still do not give out your location on these apps, especially if you're a vulnerable person to being groomed into trafficking. There's no bigger worry than being groomed on social media, because it happens every day, and we have to do all we can to protect each other and to protect our communities, mostly to protect our children against this predatory behavior that is continuing to escalate across all social media. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you have any concerns and you want me to maybe make a specialized video just for your child because they're not wanting to listen, reach out to me and I'm willing to do that for you. I will be willing to do anything it takes to help protect our children against these predatory behaviors on social media. Thank you.